Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime Primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
His balls are different in person.
And Leon Searcy.
So they were smelling themselves.
Oh, my gosh.
With no deal.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Oh, welcome in. Hump Day, ready to go. 2 o'clock hour is here. It gets here before you know it. The only thing you can't control is time, right? You've heard one of those wise sayings back in the day. I'd like to control time every once in a while, but it slips away and afternoon unfold. And I just walked outside, Matt Hayes, with a little thunder booming, okay? And it's the 9 after 5 at the Golf Club of Southampton later on. And I'll admit it, we've taken some hits weather-wise, okay? I used to always say, the golf gods do not rain on the 9 after 5.
It used to be like the Southern California song.
Yeah,
it never rains in Southampton.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it was a hard and fast rule, okay? Not hard versus soft. It was a hard and fast rule. And I counted on it. But I tell you what, man, we've been hit. And last week, there was nothing but we looked like soaked rats inside the clubhouse at the Golf Club of Southampton last week.
I hear you bringing up the hard versus soft taco thing already.
Yeah. By the way, I got to bring it up because I couldn't help it. Captain Kevin Favor chimed in with this one piece, okay, as we carry over the hard versus
Another
soft
known
taco.
foodie.
Here we go, JJ, right.
This is the best.
Champion of, culinary arts.
Mexican himself.
This is the best now.
And we love Captain Kevin, but come
Captain
on, man.
Kevin Favors.
Captain Kevin's had his share of, food.
Well, he's old school.
Yes,
okay?
that's what I'm saying.
But he definitely has. I wouldn't say that he's not an aficionado of fine food. Okay?
Right, that's kind of my point.
So when he says, "Tell Matt, I'll bring him some of my wife's hard shell venison tacos," unbelievable.
I would love a venison taco.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I would love to be proved wrong.
I would love to be proved wrong too. However, the thought of that, it makes me think I'd much rather have it in a soft.
Yeah, it does sound better, but
well, I sat down
with some nice crisp coleslaw. Yeah, it sounds great.
Of course,
man.
but it's all good. But anyway, he had to chime in on that one, and his beautiful wife Carrie. I know whatever venison he brings home, him or logs or whoever.
There's no doubt it's fantastic.
She stews it down perfectly seasoned.
he's probably had venison in every type of way you could have.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this is a quick aside because we had. I would always tell you guys about Gopher Ridge hunting camp back in the day, and the Allen boys and Middletons, and we just had so many good people. Chuck Owen, all of them. But anyway, whatever venison whatever deer we would knock down, we'd leave a little bit in the freezer there, and then the ladies would come in and cook, and we had a cook team that would. Anyway, it was nothing better than just chunk it up when you're kind of cleaning it up, chunk it up, and then just drop in some flour and some grease. Okay,
yes.
There was nothing better, especially for kids. But then from time to time, a little bit later on in life, you get a little more sophisticated with your palate and whatnot, and then the backstrap was a very popular tender piece of venison, and you have to soak that in a little red wine and then grill it on top of some hot coals
really
or whatever.
good.
And it was just outstanding. And then
You're talking dirty to me, and I kind of like it.
Yes.
and then one of our old buddies, Patrick Malarkey, who you occasionally hear on one of the spots here, he came in one day and ground venison. He brought his own sausage grinder and ground up some venison, and then we had venison patties.
Sausage patties.
Yeah, with breakfast.
Yeah, nobody eats better at this station than the Saturday morning crew.
Oh my gosh, they
like
have.
Logs and Kevin, they always have food. It always smells delicious. I've only worked that show like once, but I know they're always eating it.
There is no question. There is no question. And they got recipes.
I'm very
too.
envious of that because we only eat when Leon brings them Popeyes. He's on vacation.
Or when somebody loses a bet. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I tell you what, the recipes, there's not a show on 1010XL that probably gets more recipes sent to them than the outdoor show. That's for sure. But when he threw that out there, I had to put it out there. All right. So Golf Club of Southampton, we mentioned it because we are going to be out there. I did check the weather. It looks good. We just got a little cloud cover over us, which we will happily take with whatever, 87 degrees, whatever it is right now. But it looks like we're clean and green, and we should have good weather. So call 287-PLAY. Get on the tee sheet this afternoon. Always a 9-hole game. got a skins game wrapped up in there as well, so you can actually take home a little extra cheddar. And they do a blind draw for like 30% of it, so you don't have to be the best golfer out there. You got a chance to rake in a little extra prizes, food, all that stuff afterwards. So come on out, 9 after 5 at the Golf Club of Southampton. So I wanted to bring this up, Matt, and I know that you and Helmets and Heels were talking about it. You and Taylor were talking about it earlier, but the story that came out, especially out of the Big 12, with everything that's going on with the 5-11 and all the stuff we talked about yesterday, was Matt Campbell basically saying that his team had to take a pay cut. Now, as we go from what was long thought just a hard taco era into a soft taco era that we are in now, okay, I never would have thought that we would be talking about college players, announcing it out loud, college players having to take a pay cut. Now, think about it just on its face, because they were amateur athletes. They weren't allowed to accept anything. And then we all know that ship has sailed. And so now we've entered a world where we always like arguing back and forth as to whether or not the money's ever going to run out. But it is interesting that this is a decent program. They're not at the tip top, but they're a decent program. They're established. And with the money in-house, like we talk about, which is the, revenue share. Rev share.
Correct.
And then on top of that, you're still basically going to your boosters. Hey, pals.
Private NIL.
Yeah, we need the outside, the football offices NIL, the private NIL. Anyway, Matt Campbell said they had to take a pay cut. And I just thought it was very interesting.
So technically it wasn't a pay cut.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
well, they surrendered income.
Well, again, they didn't really surrender income. What happened was each program, sports program, not just football, sports program, all the sports, okay? They're each allowed to spend between 20 and 23. The final number has not been set.
Shockingly.
Between 20 and 23 million on revenue sharing for student athletes, okay? That's what you're allowed to spend.
Right.
Doesn't mean you have to spend it. Doesn't mean you can spend it because you can afford it, all right?
And also, just to clarify to everybody, when you say you have to spend it, that's money to athletes in your program.
Yes, athletes in your program.
In other words,
student athletes.
When you're spending it, you are writing checks to athletes in your program.
All sports.
Yeah.
Cross country.
Right.
Hockey. All of them.
And completely separate from the idea that there is NIL out there outside of
completely separate from private NIL.
Yeah.
Okay? So what Matt Campbell was saying but didn't say it, I guess, clear enough is probably the best way to say it is Iowa State figured its budget. They're not spending the full 20 to 23 million because they don't have it.
Right.
And that's the big dirty secret in this whole thing is many power conference schools don't have this money to spend.
Which makes sense because
most of them are not SEC and not Big Ten.
Yeah, and you can hear the music playing because they're saying, you know what, pal? We want you to play here, man. We can picture you wearing our uniform. But we just don't have the doggone money.
So I feel so bad for these schools that have taken advantage of free players.
So when he said
100 years,
JJ, I am with you 100%.
Now they don't have enough.
I'm with you 100%.
Find it hard to believe.
Where's the T-shirt? If I could, I would.
So
LD has that.
So here's what he meant to say was, look, we only have a certain amount of money. Let's just say it's $10 million. Okay. Yeah. The majority of the schools that can spend the full amount, 20 to 23 million, are going 75% to football, or like 13 million. Then 15% to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, and the other 5% to the rest of the sports. Okay?
Yeah, which is really incredible.
What he's saying
every other sport gets 5%.
Right. So
they're the Fiverr website that's out there right now. Do anything
it's about
for
$1 million.
$5.
It's a little over $1 million. So what he's saying is, when he's saying they took a pay cut, what he's saying is Iowa State decided only to spend X amount on football. And to still spend money on men's basketball, women's basketball, wrestling, which is very big there. You know, you've got it's each specific school. You got to figure out where you want to spend your money.
Some might be baseball or whatever.
Yeah, some might be baseball, some might be wrestling, some might be water polo like UCLA. You got to figure out where you want to spend the money, okay? So that's that's what he meant. I think it came out differently. Well, him saying we took a pay cut. Basically what happened was Jamie Pollard, who's the AD there, said, look, we can only give you this much. Yeah. We're only spending this much. We can only give you this much.
Right.
And Matt Campbell's looking at it like, all right, and I'm just using this number. I'm not saying that's the number.
Right.
All right, so you're going to give me $6 million, and I've got the same team in the state 2 hours away from me that's using $13 million to build
So that's more
a
than
roster.
double.
How do you expect me to compete with that?
And his quote was, I'd say probably our top 20 guys took a pay cut to come back to Iowa State. A lot of these guys had some really good opportunities. So that is kind of how he framed it. But what Matt's saying, you got to hear it all.
He only has so much money to spend.
Right.
That's what it is.
And when the coach says pay cut, meaning they could have gone somewhere else. In other words, step out of your Cyclone uniform, wear another uniform, get paid more, but you would be leaving something that you were a part of.
Yes, really what it is it really highlights what he's built there, what kind of coach he's a terrific coach, number one. Number two, it highlights what kind of person he is. I don't know if you've seen, like when they were on Game Day, like I think it was like 2 years ago, and Game Day had him on like for a segment, and he was talking about football and talking about how they develop kids. You know, it was remarkable. He sounded like if you were a parent, you'd say, I'm sending my kid to that guy.
Yeah.
Like it was that good, okay? So I think it's what's getting lost in this is there's no doubt if you look at the state of Iowa, one team can spend $13 million because it's in the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. The other team can spend, and again, I'm just throwing this number out there. I don't know that it's a number. $8 million, $7 million because it's in the Big 12. Because the Big 12 makes half of what the Big Ten makes in media rights money, which is where a majority of this money is coming from to have the salary pool. So that's the whole genesis of the story that I wrote a couple of days ago at USA Today that's out there now on Cody Campbell and how he's trying to get the Power Four conferences to pool their media rights together like the NFL does and make more money.
Yeah.
But the problem is the SEC and the Big Ten, they don't want to do it because they don't want to give up their branding. They don't want to give up their TV windows. They don't want to give up their exclusivity.
Yeah.
And they'll do it.
They have more money.
Yes, they do. And they don't, because when you do that, look, the point is what Cody Campbell's saying is, look, they're still going to get more money, the Big Ten and the SEC. They'll get a lot more. But the other guys will get more to where they'll be able to compete. It's not going to be the same as the SEC and the Big Ten, but they'll still be able to compete. And I think that's what he's trying to do now, and that's what he will try to do as President Trump's point man in this whole, okay, let's fix this, because right now women's sports are suffering and Olympic sports are suffering, and the only thing that's getting really the focus is football and basketball.
And we know this to be true. Football and some basketball, but generally speaking, football pays for every other sport to exist.
Yes.
And it's hard to accept that or fathom that if you're a supporter of the other sports. If your daughter wants to go play softball, volleyball, whatever, your son wants to play baseball, there are limited financial windfalls of cash in those athletics programs. They're just simple as that. There are baseball players that are working off of a third of a scholarship instead of a whole scholarship. That's just the way it is. And so the football money drives everything. And so you just have to basically submit to it and say, okay, what can we do to figure out a better way for us to have
but
more,
the problem is
more
when,
cash?
Is when the cash goes toward those programs now it's at the cost of other programs. Now it's you might lose programs. And now it's you're not going to give opportunity to young people that had opportunity prior.
That were playing for free, or a scholarship.
Right.
Now they're not even, their sport won't even exist.
And that's kind of, Cody Campbell's point is, look, you're talking about 500,000 student athletes, and a majority of them are going to be affected by this, by the fact that there's not enough money. It's a money thing right now. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, it's a money thing. There's not enough money in the system.
And
how do you do it? There's only one way to do it, and that's increase the television revenue.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to pull the television rights.
Yeah. And that way, power, strength in numbers. If you say, hey, we
just
all come
like
together.
the NFL. Yes.
Yeah, we all come together.
Like the Giants. The Giants were furious about the NFL doing that when they did it. Why would we pay for the Packers?
Right. Or the Jags.
Yeah, the Jags. And now modern day, it's same thing with the Jags.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. All right. And by the way, Cyclones, I picked them last year to take the Big 12. Made it to the championship
Nearly
game.
did.
Could not get it done. 11-3 record. They were good.
Yeah, they won the what was it? The bowl, the very important bowl against Miami, the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I thought you were talking about
I
Farmageddon.
forgot all about that.
Yeah.
They did beat Miami in that game.
Well, we played for a half.
Right after Cam decided that he was done.
Yeah. First 30 minutes,
It was
victorious.
a team decision, bro.
Because you guys were
It was a
up
team decision.
weren't you up like 10 and a half or something, or 14?
I think they were up less than that. Of course, the defense had done their part and given up like 28, I'm sure, at half.
All right, so we'll throw some college football at you today as the Big 12 meetings are going on, SEC next week, ACC the following week, all sorts of college football, and, of course, training camp coming up. We did bring up yesterday sack numbers. We brought up yardage, passing yardage. for guys yesterday in the NFL, just as far as future bets. Hard Rock definitely is into all of this. Well, let's throw some sack numbers at you where the Jaguars might have a couple of guys and where they're projected to be. We'll do that coming up. NFL, college football talk. It's all part of XL Primetime.
Brunell.
Hi, I'm Mark Brunell.
On the fade. Touchdown to Jimmy Smith.
You have found the best Jaguars coverage in Jacksonville on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference. For 100 years, service you can trust. Lee and Kate's Glass, depend on us. Glass solutions to meet your needs. Reliable quality guaranteed. Complete customer satisfaction. With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Yo, E.T. here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Friday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL's Gator Bites podcast wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening the whole family can enjoy? Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take on the San Antonio Gunslingers. This Saturday, July 12th at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. Kickoff at 7. Ask about the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card. All for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. The Sharks smell the playoffs in the water. It's Rock and Roll Night presented by Dick Swings. Dress up as your favorite rock star for a chance to win a prize or join us on the field after the game for our free autograph session sponsored by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Ask about our new 4-pack, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card, all for only $100. Tickets start at just $15. To get yours, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Hey, poker players, Christmas in July is back at Best Bet, along with daily high hand promotions. This month, get ready to cash in on over $700,000 in high hands at all Best Bet locations. And ride the waves into Best Bet St. Augustine for chances to ride away on a Yamaha Wave Runner. From table games to tournaments, Best Bet has a spot for everyone. Visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com for all the exciting details.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Well, banging music. It's in a good mood. Even though it's not one of our rock and roll Fridays, I just love the rock. JJ bringing it?
Yeah, my grandma always told me, if you want to get in a good mood, put on Pantera.
your Grammy told you that?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's still with us, thank you.
Does she like Tigers of Pang Tang too?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, same kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a big Dimebag Darrell fan.
It's so funny. Michael in the middle and all them, man, they would go and get in the pit and just love it.
That's too much for me.
Oh, believe me.
I'm not getting physically assaulted at a concert.
Can't imagine. Cannot imagine. You can get physically assaulted at a golf course, though.
We saw that this week, yes.
We were looking at the video. And I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of posers.
Canadians, maybe.
Yeah, a bunch of posers, you hoser, north of the border. But it is viral, and they're talking, and it's basically all about golf etiquette. And I'm going to bring this up tonight at the Golf Club of Southampton at the 9 after 5. Slow play, okay?
And drunk play.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that actually does lead to slow play.
Yeah.
And listen, I had a buddy, and he was the best. He was the best. And two of the things that he would do more than anything else was look for golf balls when he didn't need to, okay? And when he thinks he still might have a chance to take the shot out of the woods. You know what I mean? In other words,
he walks around and
you should 100% take a drop.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But he thinks he's
thinking I can choke down on a 4-iron and knock this thing out of there.
Execute the shot of all shots.
Yep.
And like, bro,
you're not Phil Mickelson, bro.
Give it up. And it's just it would invariably happen.
And then gets pissed off when the shot doesn't work.
Oh my gosh! And then if he and then I now I got a hybrid of all my buddies with all the things that come out of their heads in the golf game coming kind of popping in my head right now, because one of our other dudes, God bless him, I'm just going to call him Diamonds right now. Some of you know, and so every single time it was a bad shot, within seconds there was a reason why that was a bad shot. You know what I mean?
Justifying his terribleness.
That was part of his. It was
that
part
sounds
of
like
his.
A few golfers I know. Prisco.
Yeah. Part of his follow through.
Right.
Oh my God, the grip. It slipped. Oh, my hands are all sweaty.
Oh my God, that's so Prisco. Yeah. You have no idea.
Oh, did you see that? Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. But anyway, the viral golf.
So the guy's like,
he would blame his arthritic pinky that he got from football years ago because it won't go fully around the club, and he'd go, "It's this pinky."
Love that. I would probably be that guy.
Yeah,
just being real.
Got to pick up the game. Yes.
Yes. I do. But the video. So there's a guy. I guess they've been playing slow all day.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them, and they're being confronted by like 4 guys
behind them.
And And the guy that's taking too long, allegedly, he's like wasted, okay? And then he's like up on the tee box fiddling around. And then he gets so mad at the guys telling him to go faster or let him by that he gets in the other guy's face. And it's always the guy who talks the most and the loudest who gets whooped the hardest. Not only does he get his ass kicked, he gets thrown in the pond.
So there's
nothing worse.
First off, the guy he goes after is probably got 5-6 inches on him and at least 30-40 pounds on him. He looks like a former football player.
But when you've been drinking, you think, this guy's nuts.
So he goes right at this. This actually fits perfectly. A nice segue into our Vegas odds for the highest sacks.
Yeah.
He comes right at him, and the dude literally does just like a little push move, just like a tackle.
Yeah.
Pushes him to the outside, and then keeps pushing all the way into the lake.
As Big Sirs, who's enjoying his a little vacay, you push him up the field. Okay?
Yeah, that's what he did.
And then they're done. They're done. You don't even need to
let him
but
use his own energy. Exactly.
The problem is, the dude got out of the lake.
Yeah.
And started coming after him.
Yeah.
So the bigger guy.
This one did not end quickly.
The bigger guy, oh, by the way, also had length. Mm-hmm. So he literally was grabbing the guy by the shirt.
Front of his shirt.
And the guy couldn't reach him. Yeah. And he was just pounding his face.
Yeah. And then every time he threw a punch that landed on his face, the guy who was punching would say out loud, "Pow!" Literally, like it was like an old Batman show. Like, pow! Pow! Multiple times. So this guy had to get his ass kicked to a soundtrack of the other guy.
Yeah.
It was
multiple times. Like he hit him a couple times and he went down. And you thought he's staying down.
He gets back up.
Yeah.
And he keeps getting
I'll say he does have heart.
Yeah.
He kept getting punished and he kept getting back up.
Well, just hey, listen, little etiquette PSA out there. Just hit
Stay
one
down
shot.
When you go down.
Yeah.
Stay down.
Well, that's actually very good
That's what the
advice.
guy was yelling at him. Stay down, and he wouldn't do it.
But just play a little faster and hit one shot,
or let people go by you.
Yeah. Which is fine too.
There's no shame in saying, "All right, I screwed up, man." Go ahead.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah, and then don't hit into people if you're fired up, okay? Because that also does not.
And I get it. You paid your $70 to play. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's not worth it.
Yeah,
man.
just everyone.
It's just not.
Why can't we all just get along? Okay. So that's that. If you have a story, you can definitely hit the text line.
We have more on this story in the text line. So the bigger guy, he was actually a former NHL player.
Okay, you do not take those.
Yeah, so if this guy would have known that, he would have never got into a scrap.
Do not take on those cats. No way.
He was long and big, man. Like
his name is Nick Tarnasky. 13-year NHL career. Stints with the Lightning and the Panthers. Bad decision.
Imagine that.
Just don't do it.
Imagine realizing you've started a fight with an former NHL player.
It ain't going to go well. It is not going to go. The moment he pulls,
no way, shape, or form.
The moment he pulls your shirt over your head, that should have been your first quote.
He's a hockey player.
Yeah. Oh my God!
If you're that guy, that drunk guy, the moment he's got his hand on your chest and you can't reach him,
what have I done?
You should have said enough.
I'm sorry.
Before that first punch came.
Yeah. What have I done?
I'm suing for peace.
Yeah, because it's inevitable that you're going to go down.
Once you realize you can't reach, like you have no reach, you're done.
Yeah.
And right at that point, you say, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. All right, I got to bring this up because we were just talking about the cash and whether it's running dry and all that kind of stuff. And you guys can jump in 641-1010, hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, and jump in the chat if you want. Because we were just talking about the amount of money that maybe an Iowa State program doesn't have, and for all the reasons we were talking about earlier. But how about the fact that you have others that have decided they're going to throw in more than they ever have? And in the name of T. Boone Pickens, may he rest in peace, they are spending some cheddar down there in Lubbock, man. And so they go out and get this 5-star offensive tackle, Felix Ojo.
Mm-hmm.
And he reportedly picks up a guaranteed deal, fully guaranteed, $5.1 million over 3 years, which is just nuts. And this is on top of...
It's really not. There's been bigger deals than that.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying when you hear a school like this that hasn't done it, like in other words, Ohio State equipped, prepared, ready, and will. All of them. You can check every one of the boxes for them. And you could do a few others that are like that.
Well, if you read the story at USA Today that I wrote, Joe,
of course,
Cody Campbell and his cohorts, they have $55 million in NIL deals for Texas Tech student athletes this year.
Yeah, because they went and basically said, we want in.
Yes.
Think about what they did with their pitcher.
Kennedy,
$1 million. And so anyway,
and she got them all the way to the championships round.
Yeah.
One game away from winning it all.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing with their basketball team. They got all the way to the Elite Eight.
So they feel like it's worth it. which is fine. But I got to read this piece from Ross Dellinger. And look, there's so many people that drill down on this stuff.
Wait, before you go further, let me just explain this. Cody Campbell doesn't need to do this with the government.
Yeah.
He can just keep throwing money at Texas Tech. He doesn't care.
Right.
The majority of his holdings, his energy holdings, are in the Permian Basin, which accounts for 50% of the U.S. global oil. 50, Joe.
Is that a lot?
He's literally printing money right now. He doesn't care.
By the way, another thing that when you're a college football fan, you have to like know these things, like wherever that basin is and how much. That's just something that a college
West
fan
Texas.
has
It's
to
in
know
West-
now in the
it's
NIL
in West
era.
Texas, right? Yes.
Well, basically, if you
how rich are your boosters?
Right. God, the guy is literally printing money right now.
Yeah, you could mark off like just a section of Southern football fans that know where oil is.
It's based on NIL.
It's Louisiana,
Damn right we know where it is.
Arkansas, Texas, and Oklahoma, and they know where that oil is. Okay, but listen to this, Ross Dellinger, and this is Open Doors. This is another company that has drilled down like black oil on some of this stuff, and they put out an annual NIL report, and I couldn't believe it. And Matt, you report just like Ross does, and all the others, but he said this June, NIL collectives paid athletes ... 824% more than they did last June. The front-loading figure, because they knew that this House settlement was coming into play, that they wanted to get the money in the hands of the guys, lock them up, and basically try and secure their future and their players staying with them. Anyway, athletes projected to get $2.75 billion this year in rev share plus NIL. Did you guys hear that? $2.75 billion. That's insane.
Well, even if you just do 23 million, which could be the top level.
Yeah, if you did it
23 salary pool, if you did 23 times 138, I mean, what's that going to be?
Oh yeah, that bill comes up pretty fast, I would think. Give me the numbers again. We got one.
It's 23 million.
Yeah, but we've got how many?
138, I think, in FBS.
Let's just try and see if the old
Missouri State is in FBS now. They're in Conference USA. You can believe that.
Right, but I'm going to see.
They're all not going to spend the 23 million. In fact, I would guess that probably is.
That's 3.17.
Right. So, but my guess would be.
Yeah. So if he said
50, we'll be able to spend 23 million, 55.
Yeah, because he said 2.75 in rev share plus NIL. That's if it's.
I even think 50 is high because think about it. 34 teams in the SEC and the Big Ten. Go to the ACC. Clemson will be able to do it. Miami will be able to do it. Florida State will be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
You probably could throw North Carolina now that they've
North Carolina
money to Belichick and his staff.
I don't know that many others are going to be able to spend that kind of money, man.
Tech could if they wanted to, but they won't.
Maybe Georgia Tech, maybe.
Duke is now spending money, but
I mean, look at the Big 12. Who in the Big 12 is going to be able to spend that kind of money?
T-Boone. Well, in the name of T-Boone.
In the name of T-Boone. Texas Tech, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say Oklahoma State. That's fine.
I'm 40.
You could say, okay, we'll say Oak State. That's
Oak State
two.
And TCU?
TCU definitely.
Yeah, because they have that Dallas.
SMU and ACC will be able to do it too. So, I mean, that's probably around 10, 11, 12. So you're looking at 46 that'll be able to spend that. Yeah. 46, Joe, out of 130 something.
That's nuts, man. It really is nuts. All right, so chime in on that. We mentioned the sack totals. We need to get to that coming up. Where is Trayvon Walker? Where is Josh Hines Allen at? Just in terms of projections, there's betting numbers that you can put out there. Hard Rock is one of those that just loves the idea of the futures, and we're talking total wins. We're talking, do you win your division? And then they get down to the individual player stats, who could lead the league, and what type of return you could get. We'll get to some sack numbers coming up in just a second. Don't forget, call 287-PLAY. Get on the tee sheet tonight. I just had one 9-at-5er who's a little bit of a warrior, okay? He's a warrior. And he goes, I don't know, man. I don't know. I said, we're clean and green. So call 287-PLAY, a little cloud cover. Let's enjoy it tonight. A 9-hole game, skins game, food, prizes. It's all there at the 9 after 5.
That's a great team effort out there.
Because sports are life.
Y'all played your hearts out. I'm proud of it.
1010XL.
Good job.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
You dream it, we build it. CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Gather the family when it's time to retire. Enjoy the warmth of a cozy fire. Now we're cooking in the great outdoors. That's what outdoor kitchens are for. You dream it, we build it. CSS.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 9th, 1986, Atlanta Braves' Dale Murphy doesn't play, ending his consecutive streak at 740.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers, the right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Hacker here, and with 4th of July in the rearview mirror now, all eyes are pointing towards Labor Day and football season. How would you like to drop some weight prior to football season's arrival? Well, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. Back in February of 2024, I weighed 317 pounds. In just a couple of short weeks, I was down almost 40 pounds thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It's that quick. The coaching you get, the information you get, it's all perfect with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and they can change your life very, very quickly. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me, a guy that failed in numerous diet programs over the years. I succeeded with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
It's ET here, and did you know that slow speed accidents can still cause serious injuries? Ignoring minor pain today can mean big problems tomorrow. Don't wait. Call my guys at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center, the auto accident experts.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Beautiful day if you like cloud cover, okay? And you're looking for a break, okay? I'm watching guys put a roof on. I went and seen my buddy Mark at Preferred Roofing, and I tell you what, man, they will take cloud cover any day of the week. And everybody else is busting their tail out there. So, hey, salute to all y'all. That's worth a round of applause, I think, for any of them that are busting it right now in this hot
Hey, before we get into this any further, I think you also need to acknowledge some of these players that do the right thing.
Yeah.
Not that the other ones aren't doing the right thing. They're just they're getting the money they deserve.
Sure.
But a guy like Avery Johnson at Kansas State, who's a terrific player, turned down multiple schools this offseason. And I can guarantee you Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee all went after him.
Yeah.
And he stayed. And it's not like he stayed because Kansas State had a ton of money and threw a ton of money at him. He stayed because he liked the coach, he liked the program, and he was getting NIL deals. These are his NIL deals, okay? He just recently signed one with CVS for a skincare lotion, okay? He also has one with a regional telecommunications provider. These are all regional things, okay? He also had one last year with a local car dealership, which allowed him to drive around in Manhattan, Kansas, in a lavender Corvette Stingray.
You can get away with that in the other Manhattan. But I don't know if you can do that in little.
And yeah, you can because it's purple.
A little big
and a black Mercedes AMG, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that, like a local drink company.
He's BMOC right there, man.
Yes, a local drink company. He has his own drink. It's just a strawberry lemonade drink.
Yeah.
That's, to your point, what you just said right there is what it's all about.
BMOC.
He's big man on campus right now. And he grew up in Wichita.
Right.
He grew up 2 hours from Kansas State. Always wanted to play for Kansas State.
And he's a good player.
And he's a good dude.
Yeah.
So he's just hanging out.
The other thing I was going to say is that I'm not ripping anybody for getting all their money.
No, nor am I.
Yeah, there's no reason to. But that's what I thought would be really cool from the jump.
Yes, I think that's what everyone thought it would be.
Yeah,
where it's not just straight cash. It's more along the lines of, all right, if you do this with this company, you'll get this, or you do this with this company, you'll get some cash and this.
Like we would always joke that there would be. I think Leon tells a great story, but I'll just go to Gainesville. We would always joke that there were a couple auto dealers that would have one car picked out every semester that someone could drive, and it was just set up. And then Leon said he knew that the stakes were getting higher when some of the old ragtag convertibles left and the BMWs rolled up. And so you knew that there was money being put in these players' pockets, which is fine, got no problem with it. But that's what I expected, them to be pitchmen for local companies. Great little stories.
I think you and every coach and every athletic director and every administrator in college sports assumed that's what it would be.
Yeah, was hoping.
And I don't think anyone knew what this thing was going to evolve into. And it's evolved into such a beast with so many different tentacles that they can't control it right now.
Yeah.
And the only way they can control it is through federal help and federal guidelines. And the only way they're going to get that is if they start to negotiate a little bit. Like the government, the senators from the states of Idaho and Wyoming and all those where all the small FBS schools are.
Yeah.
They're not going to agree to anything.
No.
Unless their schools are made whole.
Right.
And
they won't be.
Right. And they won't be unless the SEC and Big Ten say, okay, we agree to it. We'll revenue share. We'll do X, Y, Z. Yeah. It's either that or that people are going to come after them with all kind of antitrust lawsuits. And it's going to be a big, big legal pain where they're going to lose a lot of money because their history in court is they lose and they lose big. And if you have any question about that, look at the House case where they just were forced to pay $2.8 billion to previous student athletes who did not get NIL opportunities because of the way
we wish it would have dated back to Big Surce's era, but it did not.
Right, it only went back 7 years because that's the
he was told to stay in his era, like the Timmy Tebows of the world, the AJ McCarrons who won natties. None of those guys got any of that.
But for the statute of limitations, it could have been much worse.
Right, it could have gone back.
And by the way, that's statute Doug Heffernan, not statue.
Yeah. No, that's why I said statue. Yeah, statute.
No, I know that, but I'm saying that's what we talk about Doug Heffernan, which King of Queens.
Oh, the statue,
legendary.
He's the
almost
best.
as good as Seinfeld.
Speaking of expensive, that please.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You know what's a lot of money? Because we were just talking about billions and so on with the amount of money that's being thrown around out there in the college football world. But you know what's a lot of money when a Manning says too much for me, okay? The Manning brothers, they're making cake. Mm-hmm. They're pitch men beyond
Payne and Eli.
Yeah, beyond pitching the football around. They're pretty good.
And Cupper.
Yeah, and Cooper.
All three of them, yeah.
Cooper. But Eli Manning had a chance to buy, are you ready for this? A 1% stake in the New York Football Giants. 1 point, okay?
How much was that?
Well, he said, this is his quote, "These numbers are getting very big. A 1% stake of something valued at $10 billion, it turns out to be a very big number." And so I went to $10 billion is what they're valued at.
1% at $10 billion?
And so somebody on the text line, give me what that is, because I tried to do it on the iPhone and I ran out. It gave me one of those funky computer numbers.
It's a trillion.
No, dummy.
No, you're
10
going in
billion.
the other direction. Yeah, 1% of 10 billion.
It's 100.
Oh, I thought you said it was 10 billion. That's what I was going to say. That's what I was saying. What the heck? 1% is 10 billion?
Yeah.
Like when you said, did you say 1% is 10 billion?
1% of something valued at 10 billion.
10 million, I think.
Yeah, something is what it sounds like to me. 10 million.
Well, he can afford that.
No, 100 million.
Oh, okay. So it is 100. All right.
Jeez.
Yeah, because
My
I
math
went.
was not great there.
I did the
I thought I heard you say
I did the math.
1% is 10 billion. And I was like, what in the blue blazes?
No. That's what you. Yeah.
Yeah, teams aren't worth the
right. I mean, I knew the
entire
Giants were worth a lot.
GDP of
right.
country.
I knew the Cowboys and the Yankees and the Giants were worth a lot.
If it's 100 million, which I think it is, that's
hundo.
That's huge.
Which does Eli have $100 million?
No, he might have made that over the course of. All right, here we go. We're gonna
probably
do
has like a third of that now. You think? In
What do you think his earnings are?
Smart enough.
I'm going to put him at
151.
You're going to go 151?
I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go 116.
I'm going to go 150.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That was a while ago.
His career earnings.
You guys are probably right on that.
80.
That's it?
Come on,
no.
Do something.
Okay, I got it right here.
All right.
I was so wrong.
252 million.
Winner!
Yeah, he was a quarterback.
Quarter bill. Yeah, quarterbacks make it. You quarterbacks.
And he certainly makes a lot of money off the field. I mean, he's not the whore that Peyton is when it comes to like just selling himself for anything.
What, because you got a problem with bush beans?
No, I know. I would do the same thing, but I'm just saying Peyton's never said no to any offer. He's like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm all right with that, though.
Snoop Dogg is on every commercial for anything.
I'm right, and I'm all right with both of them because you know what? They're both great personalities.
A salute to the Bud Lights and the Coronas.
Not only that, by the way, Snoop didn't say no to Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
He had like 2 seasons with them.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg was on Trailer Park
Yeah,
Boys?
bro, like 2
See what I'm saying? Like,
and here's the other one. He said no to Martha Stewart. Okay, he didn't.
No, they did a show together.
Exactly. He's digging it.
Yeah.
All right, now. Speaking of Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg, this has nothing to do with the sack numbers.
I swear to God, we are never getting to these sack numbers. We've been trying to get
doing it right now. We're doing it right now. So anyway, this again is the futures bets that you can do, and you can look forward to it with Hard Rock coming up. Download that Hard Rock Bet app and get ready for football season. They got plenty of action right now. But if you take a look at some of the futures, guys that you're going to be willing to bet on that could produce a decent number, Aiden Hutchinson 5-1 right now. Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett 6-1. TJ Watt with a upside down smiley face right now. He's got the frown. He's holding out, but he's at plus 750.
Real quick, Joe.
Yeah.
Vegas just isn't randomly doing this.
No.
They never randomly do anything, okay?
No.
So this is more than likely a very good indicator of what's going to happen this year.
It's always now, just for what it's worth, it's always a good combination of whatever their metrics pump out and what they think will attract a bettor.
Right.
So we have to make sure of that.
Right.
And then also, if too many bettors that love one team show up, it's also going to affect the odds.
Yes.
And so
like a Cowboys player is going to be
Micah's
a lot better odds than he probably would be if he played for a different
Like if Micah played for Jacksonville, it's not 6-1, it's 12-1. You know, something like that. And so anyway, Trey Hendrickson, Nick Bosa, Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, who's actually on the rise big time, like we've been talking about. He's 10-1 with those other guys. And then you drop a little bit. Max Crosby, 14-1, Jared Verse, and Jonathan Grenard. That's a former Knoll and a former Gator. Yeah. I tell you what, Jonathan Grenard has acquitted himself nicely.
Nice career, I mean.
As an NFL player.
Yeah.
They're both 16-1. All right, now pick it up as far as where is
Chris Jones is 20-1.
Yeah.
And is here right after this. So this is 3, 6,
This is what,
9,
12,
13, 14. Okay. So this will be 15. So number 15 is your first Jaguar. And it's not the $170 million man.
It's not number 41.
No. It's the guy with back-to-back 10-sack seasons. It's Trayvon Walker at 25-1.
Yeah, 25-1's not a bad number if you wanted to have a little fun with that.
So I think that's interesting in and of itself. But here's the thing: you got Hutch at number 1 at 5-1.
Yeah,
the guy who's the third highest paid or fourth highest paid edge in the league is all the way down to 40-1.
Yeah, he's at 40-1. Josh Hines Allen is probably the 20th best selection, maybe 18th best selection here, and he's 40-1, which is 15-1 odds different than what Trayvon Walker is. And
35-1 odds different than what a Hutch is.
Yeah, it's interesting. And by the other guy that you have quarterback crushes, I might have pass rush crushes, Nick Finito, 33-1. Okay, yeah. Really good player. And he was, I want to say, a third-round draft pick.
How many of these guys make more than Josh Hines Allen? Okay.
Well,
so starting out, Myles Garrett does, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one. TJ Watt will eventually.
Yeah.
Daniil Hunter, I think, does, right?
And Micah, with everything
that's going on with him.
Daniil got him a decent deal, but I bet it's not as much as Josh.
Right.
Because he got it the year before when he went to Houston.
Nick Bosa does.
Yeah.
So that's 2. Trey Hendrickson may at some point.
Right, he's holding out. Yeah.
Who else? Max Crosby? Maybe.
Max just got him a deal.
So that's 3. It's close.
Yeah, it's got to be right around there.
There's no one else.
Yeah, right. Jared Verse will, but hasn't yet. Grenard just got him a deal, but I don't think it was as high.
Chris Jones is not an edge, so we're not counting him.
Yeah, but he still got paid handsomely.
Right.
So,
but think about that. He's top 5 in the league. Pass rush. Paid.
Oh yeah. And look, I think all of Duval, they want it so badly. If he says it, let's see it. He says he played too heavy. Let's hope like heck that we're talking about a guy that will get back to his playing weight and be a speed and strong player off the edge, the combo that everyone's looking for, which is kind of what
he is. I'm telling you right now, he is the definition of an edge guy.
Yeah, he looks it.
I mean, it's not even close. He's like, if you're looking in the dictionary, show me an edge guy. It's him.
Right.
And I will say this too. He seems to be a guy that really ratchets it up when he needs to prove something, or when something's out there, like the money season. Yeah. So now he's heard a lot about this.
Of course.
I'm sure these odds have been shown to him.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what he does now, man. Maybe he's got a little extra oomph in him this year.
Yeah. JHA 40-1.
May not be a bad, little hundy bet on that.
Yeah. Put some down on it. All right, 100 million, says one of our primetime mathematicians, which is what we expected or what we thought once we broke it down. But 100 million if you wanted to buy a 1% stake in the New York Football Giants, which is just nuts. One of our dudes is asking whether there is a blooming romance between Martha and Snoop. We're going to get to that coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. It is XL Primetime, a golf club of Southampton Wednesday. Don't forget, you can call 287-PLAY, enjoy 9 holes, food afterwards. They got the Skins game, which is a little extra wrinkle to it. You can go have some fun and maybe rake in a little bit. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton, 287-PLAY. And don't forget membership opportunities right now. Big incentives where you can take advantage of it and be a member at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Hello, you're on the air. There's more to 1010XL than radio. 1010XL is multimedia.
All communication lines are clear.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Find 1010XL on your social channels.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. you'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
1010XL is excited to support an evening of all-star fun as comedian David Spade joins MC and Gator basketball great Patrick Young to induct Olympic swimmers Nancy Hogshead and Ryan Murphy, golf legend Jim Furyk, and the iconic Lizard King into the Sawyer Sports Foundation's Jacksonville Sports Hall of Fame, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships. Saturday, July 26th at the Community First Igloo. For single ticket and table sponsorship, go to JacksonvilleIceman.com.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mitry goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso spine and joint pain specialists.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is poured at Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Enjoy craft for $12.99 a pound on Tuesdays. Drink Brackish Wednesdays with $1 oyster on the half shell. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka made right here in Jacksonville for whatever your sport is. If your sport is crab at Southern Coast, your vodka is Brackish. Southern Coast Seafood, now open Mondays. Brackish Vodka, proud partner of the Jaguars.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, it's Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter. And you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all: garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Looking for an exciting, fun-filled evening the whole family can enjoy? Discover the thrill of indoor football. It's fast-paced, action-packed, and full of family fun. It's a battle for the playoffs as your Sharks take on the San Antonio Gunslingers. This Saturday, July 12th at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Kickoff at 7. Ask about the new 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card. All for only $100. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. The Sharks smell the playoffs in the water. It's rock and roll night presented by Dick's Wings. Dress up as your favorite rock star for a chance to win a prize or join us on the field after the game for our free autograph session sponsored by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Ask about our new 4-pack, 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $20 gift card, all for only $100. Tickets start at just $15. To get yours, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. Sharks football, where memories are made.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Ahead of next week's Open Championship, a good warm-up to the Links Golf is on the menu this weekend as the Genesis Scottish Open begins tomorrow. It'll be played at the Renaissance Course in North Berwick, Scotland, and gives a nice warm-up for players who don't often play links courses, a chance to gain familiarity with the style of golf. And is also the final opportunity for players to lock up a spot in the 153rd Open Championship at Royal Portrush. Orlando Magic rookies Jace Richardson and Noah Penda are preparing for their first taste of NBA action as they begin their summer league in Las Vegas tomorrow as they'll take on the Sacramento Kings at 7:30. Game 2 of the Jumbo Shrimp vs. Norfolk Tide series begins in VyStar Ballpark tonight at 7:05. It's 89 degrees at 3:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
Gio! What is happening? Dr. George Bari ready to step in with a little sports injury talk. He of Bari Orthopedics, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. Gio, how are you, man?
What's up, man?
Listen, we are fired up and ready to go. We got a few sports injuries to throw at you. If you are out there listening and you've got whatever, an ache or pain, joint pain, knee problems, just hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010, and we'll see if we can throw one Gio's way if you do have a sports injury question. We got a couple from last week that we will get to, but this one is a personal one because it involves the LA Dodgers. And Max Muncy, last week I don't think we brought this one up last week because I think it might have even happened Wednesday night. Anyway, he's expected to miss 6 weeks with a left knee bone bruise, sliding into the base, contact with the Chicago White Sox player. Bottom line is no real damage as far as structural, but a big bone bruise.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about bone contusions all the time, right? So it could take up to, 3-4 months sometimes for really bad ones. So, 6 weeks, I think, is the minimum. Don't be shocked if he stays longer than that. Mm-hmm. But really not much to do is just rest. Now, for long-term ones that don't get better, you can do PRP into them.
Right.
But that's obviously a longer recovery.
All right, so this is a little bit of a dumb question, but is there one bone bruise that's worse than another area in your body?
I think anywhere where you have a weight-bearing portion, right? Anywhere where you're putting your weight in and handle like the joint, that's going to be worse than just if it's like the shaft.
Yeah. I'm looking at AI, Gio, right now because it's unbelievable what they will give you. The injury. Listen to this. The injury, the incident, initial reaction, MRI results, expected return, impact, perspective.
So we don't even really need you, Gio.
Are you going to start using
AI,
Gio? AI-Geo? Huh?
It's interesting the medical stuff that's coming out with AI. But until a robot can do the whole surgery,
right?
I'm still here.
Okay, all right. I love it.
Do you use it in any way for your job though? Just like looking things up, or
so you can have robots for knees and hip replacements, but they don't actually do the surgery. What they do is help guide the surgeon and just kind of prevent you from doing something really bad, and then maybe make the cuts a little better. But it by no means is it even close to doing the surgery. And then we also have some stuff where we can do a navigation where it kind of helps guide where you put the screws in certain types of surgeries. But we're not close yet, to my knowledge and to what I'm reading, of them even doing any portion of the procedure. The robot stuff that you do now, you still have to hold the saw. You got to maneuver the saw. It just kind of helps guide you. That's all.
Yeah, just whenever you say saw, it hurts just a little when you say that.
Yeah.
JJ, another baseball one.
Yeah, two Braves ones.
Yeah.
So first, this happened in June. This was June 21st. My boy Chris Sale, who was competing for a Cy Young with Paul Skeens, he had a great game going. In the ninth inning, he dove for a ball. He fractured his left rib cage. Now, it's been, I guess, 3 weeks at this point. When should I expect him back?
Probably 8 to 12 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, the rib can suck. They hurt a lot. It's very painful. And it's not something you can play around with, right? If it hasn't fully healed and you get hit again, you can, it can, right now I'm assuming he has a non-displaced fracture. You could puncture a lung, right? If it moves, it hits a lung. So I would assume 8 to 12 weeks. I can't imagine going back sooner than that.
All right, and this one just happened yesterday. Ronald Acuna Jr. was scratched from the lineup. By the way, Braves gave up 5 runs without getting an out last night.
What they're dealing with right now.
So bad. So Ronald Acuna Jr. was scratched from the lineup last night. After, I guess, during batting practice, he said, I did a movement and felt it just tighten up on me. So it was with lower back tightness. I don't really care about him coming back to help our team because we're so pathetic. But the home run derby is in Atlanta on Monday. So should I be worried about him missing the home run derby on Monday for some back tightness a week out?
It depends how he gets, right? So
it was lifting weights, excuse me. He tweaked it lifting weights.
If he's still having pain, if I were him, I wouldn't do it because why risk, real games for the home run derby? But, you can have some back spasm and it goes away after a couple of days and then you're fine. So it just, I guess, depends how bad it is.
Yeah, they treated him for the whole game last night, and I guess they'll find out today if he's going to play.
That guy, he's so special, so good. You don't want to see
and
him.
Has had multiple knee injuries, and it's just like, can we sit him out and rest him for the home run derby at
Instead
this
of
point?
all the other ones, Snickers resting? Yeah. Which I heard Jeff Prosser just go off on that yesterday. He was going nuts. All right, so Dr. George Barry, you can definitely log on, barryorthopedics.com, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. Couple of football ones to throw at you right now. Tristan Wirfs has been basically a plug-in starter at right tackle down in Tampa Town ever since they drafted him, Gio. And he's kind of been a little, dealing with injuries last year and coming into this year. Anyway, we're talking about an all-pro tackle, and he's going to miss the start of the season. Surgery on his right knee, and basically this was arthroscopic yesterday, and it goes back to an injury that forced him to miss a game last season. So additional damage was found at the time of the surgery. What would you be able to read into that?
Did they say how long he's going to be out for after this one?
Just not that he's going to expected to miss the beginning of the season physically on the PUP list, which is physically unable to perform. And I believe that is the first 6 weeks. I'm almost positive of that.
And so how far out are we? So, I mean, how long is that?
So you figure, dude, that's a good 9 or 10 weeks.
Yeah. Ooh,
unexpected off-season setback was the quote.
You think maybe cartilage? You said he had a surgery. They found some stuff. I mean, you think cartilage lesion, maybe they're trying to repair the cartilage.
Maybe.
They did a cartilage procedure to get it to heal and fill it in. And, maybe that's what they did. It's tough to say, but to be out already from now for the first 6 weeks, that's where my mind goes.
Yeah, that sucks for a guy who has, like I said, been Mr. Reliable, right tackle, then left tackle. He's been nonstop. All right, here's another one. Offensive lineman Charles Jaguza from Notre Dame, surgery to repair a fractured bone in his left arm. And guess where this one came from? A UTV, a utility terrain vehicle. He was up in Wyoming. This happened over the weekend. And basically, they don't know exactly what they're going to have to deal with rehab-wise, but surgery to repair a fractured left humerus, a bone dislocated between the shoulder and the elbow.
So humerus and a dislocation of the elbow?
That's what it says. Fractured left humerus and then a bone located between the shoulder and the elbow. Yeah.
Okay, so, it sounds like he could have, that wording kind of is weird, but so it looks like he may have a distal humerus fracture with a dislocation of maybe the elbow. So is the elbow region, maybe distal humerus fracture. Those are, if it's a distal humerus fracture through the condyle, through the articular surface, those are really bad, especially if he has any dislocation of the elbow region.
Right.
You know, that's going to be a tough one if it limits your range of motion of your elbow, and they're just a tough surgery to do. This is going to be. It's going to be interesting to see how he does.
All right. 641-1010. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We've got a couple we need to get to, including maybe even some love advice. Jim.
Yeah. Can you ask Dr. Gio if he can help with a bruised heart? My lady friend dumped me.
Chime in on
anything for that?
No.
Okay.
No, but I'm going to Amsterdam in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll let you know.
Whoa. Oh, I got to talk to you off the air about that. Okay. Here's a real one. Meniscus trim fixed last June. Occasionally, I have tightness in that knee. What can I do to strengthen it? I'm on my feet a lot during the day.
I mean, you work out the quads and the hamstrings. I mean, that's only right. Those are the big muscle groups of the leg. And if you want to strengthen your leg, that's what I would do. Try to equal them out. Make sure that you don't have one that's stronger than the other, and just kind of do that.
Yeah. The other one that was thrown at me on my own personal text, and this was after a procedure was done. He developed a drop foot problem and painful and limited mobility. And explain what a drop foot is.
So a drop foot is when your foot, when you go to walk, you lift your foot up and you can't do it. So you start slapping your foot on the ground to try to clear the floor. And basically you cannot lift your foot up in the air. And so it starts dragging and you trip. I don't know what kind of surgery he had, but the peroneal nerve goes around the outside of your knee. And that, if it gets stretched or gets injured, can cause a drop foot. Now, normally it comes back.
Okay.
It could take up to a year, but usually about 6 months. But if it doesn't, then you're going to have to do some, other things to try to get it back.
All right. So that's honestly, when you start thinking about that, that's rehab. Is that more than anything else?
Rehab will definitely try to help it, try to get that nerve firing. But then just time.
All right. We have one more. I've been having numbness in my, and we have to get to a food question before you leave, but I have been having numbness in my fingertips since I slept wrong one night. What's going on with that?
They call it Saturday night palsy. When you get a little too many drinks like Joe, and then you fall asleep on your arm.
Easy, Gio. You're profiling. Stuff
and you fall asleep on your arm, and you put some 6 hours on your arm because you're passed out, and you put some pressure on that nerve, and that nerve now is numb for a long time. Some people get a wrist drop for months. I mean, I don't know how long it's been, but after 3 months, if it's been that long, you can get a nerve test to see what's going on.
All right. So the most important question you will answer today: hard or soft shell?
It's a great question.
I have one more, but I want to.
I love them both.
Okay.
But what do you prefer?
Thank you.
I would say hard shell. Hard shell.
You get so when you go to a Mexican restaurant, you order a hard shell taco.
See, don't you love when you get attacked for your own food love?
If I go,
that's crazy.
If I go to, I don't know, both. If I go to Taco Bell, hard shell.
That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah. Taco Bell. This guy. You're a freaking surgeon, man. Why are you ever at Taco Bell?
You never knew you were going to get attacked for your own food love. You never knew it. All right, real quick before you hang up on us. If Eli Manning were to buy 1 point of the New York Football Giants, which you and I have talked about, that's one of our dreams. We want to buy 1 point in a professional team. Are you ready for this, Gio? 1 point into the New York Football Giants, $100 million.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
So are you going to help?
You think we can cover it?
Yeah.
You've been saving all that money on Taco Bell. I certainly expect you to have it.
Right.
All right, you're the man. We will talk to you later.
And are you doing this interview in a bathroom, by the way?
Listen.
I'll take that silence as a yes.
Gio is so mad right now.
I love him.
We love you, bro. Late.
All right, guys.
All right. Dr. George Bari Orthopedics. JJ went behind the fourth wall.
I did. When I called him, he must have been at a different office. Because when I called him, he's like, he's yelling in the background to someone, what's the bathroom code? What's the bathroom code? I'm like, that can't possibly be his office.
No, he's on the move. he's on the move, making it happen. All right, don't forget, BariOrthopedics.com. Check it all out, especially if you do need any advice. And we have plenty that chime in and say, thanks, Doc, for helping us out. We appreciate it. That's for sure. All right, Matt's back. We'll get back into some of our college football topics and that number for Josh Hines, Allen, and Trayvon Walker. Why don't you project what you think the sack number could be for either one of those guys wearing teal and black in 2025?
He's the Belichick of fantasy football.
We're on to Cincinnati.
And he doesn't cheat.
That's a conversation for later.
Mike Dempsey, 10 to noon weekdays.
We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
On 1010XL.
Hacker here, and with 4th of July in the rearview mirror now, all eyes are pointing towards Labor Day and football season. How would you like to drop some weight prior to football season's arrival? Well, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is your answer. Back in February of 2024, I weighed 317 pounds. In just a couple of short weeks, I was down almost 40 pounds thanks to the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It's that quick. The coaching you get, the information you get, it's all perfect with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and they can change your life very, very quickly. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, do yourself a favor and go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me, a guy that failed in numerous diet programs over the years. I succeeded with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Get this thing unwrapped here. Duval! Prize, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval? That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Coming soon, Pine Royale, a fully illuminated synthetic par 3 course built for day or night play. Plus a driving range with TrackMan tech for virtual courses and interactive games. Mini golf, restaurant, and bar all in one place. Whether you're a serious golfer or just here for good vibes and great food, Pine Royale brings fun nonstop. Smash a burger, a bucket of balls, and even a night round under the lights. Grab your clubs, your crew, and your short game. Pine Royale is coming soon off I-295. Learn more at pineroyale.cc.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
All aboard! The Combine, Free Agency, the Draft.
Here we go!
Ride the off-season like a locomotive with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
Might want to buckle up, baby.
AA Automotive on Richard Street. Family run since 1954.
Hi, I'm Karen, owner of Clay Solar Installation Partners, your local women-owned solar company. At Clay Solar, we're more than just panels and power. We're about people. We make the switch to clean energy simple, stress-free, and built to last. If you've had a bad experience with solar in the past, we can help. We specialize in dependable solutions and top-notch customer service, so you can finally enjoy the savings and sustainability you deserve. Schedule your free consultation at claysolar.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Get ready. The Jacksonville Rock Orchestra brings to life the magic of Fleetwood Mac. Like you've never heard it before. A 27-piece symphony fused with a full rock band, performing timeless hits like Rhiannon, Dreams, and You Make Loving Fun. One night only, July 11th at the historic Florida Theater. Get tickets today at floridatheater.com.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Who lit it up last night? Brought to you by American-Electrical.com.
High fly ball, right field, Moore back. He's on the track, he's at the wall. See ya! A home run for Judge. Number 34. And the Yankees lead 7-0.
Gone! Up to the second deck in right field. Cal Raleigh, when will we stop being amazed? His 36th home run. It is now the most ever by a Seattle Mariner before the All-Star break. Simply incredible stuff from the Mariners catcher.
It really was, to watch both Judge and Raleigh just rifle them out into the stands. It was something else. Both of those guys, Seattle Mariners for Cal Raleigh, the Yankees for Aaron Judge, and the pace that they are on, we are going to be flirting with that number of 60. Projections are over 60 for both of them. And then you're just going to kind of wait and see how it all plays out. But there you go. Who lit it up last night? Certainly American Electrical love it. But they can light up your world. And we're talking residential, commercial. They have got a fleet of electricians that are trained to make sure that they get the job done for you. So check them out, American-Electrical.com. And if you want to light up your career, take a look at them with what you could be in a long-term career at American Electrical. All right, so we were just having a little fun talking about the soft shell and the hard shell with Gio. As Matt, you jumped out. You're back now, so we're having fun with him. And he went hard shell. And now Derek DiStefano, the owner, proprietor of the Golf Club of Southampton, that's all the vowels except you. You know what he said?
I'm guessing hard shell because you're bringing him back up.
Right, I can also, I'm looking at the radar right now, so this is why Derek's jumping in on this conversation, because he knows
he's inside.
He's not on the golf course.
It's not on the golf course, and it does not look good right now.
He said hard shells all day, soft shells are for fajitas or fajitas, however you want to say it, fajitas. That's just that's just his opinion, man.
Yeah, it is. The wrong opinion.
It's the wrong opinion.
I do love it. I do love it. You guys have both turned into Prisco. Okay? You're both telling everybody they're wrong.
As Prisco always says, you're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Until I have those venison hard shell tacos.
Exactly. Until I have the venison
my mind.
hard shells, right.
Oh, it's beautiful.
By the way, and when he brings those in, tell him it's got to be like a nice crisp coleslaw on top, too.
Oh, no. So now you're putting in a request.
Yeah, we are. Okay. We absolutely are. Yeah.
Jeez. I wouldn't stoop that low.
You already have. You did it the first hour. You did.
No, I'm saying if someone's bringing me food, I'm not telling them how I like it.
Yeah. You said I'd love. Your direct quote was, "Man, I'd love to taste venison on a hard shell."
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I would. That's what I said. I'd love to try it, but I'm not going to be like, "Hey, you need to make it this way or that way."
Because you got that classic.
I'm not rude.
That guy will go. You know what would be really good? You know what would be really good? if you did it this
It's not
way.
rude,
exactly.
JJ. It's not rude. It's an order. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. You're not at a restaurant.
Yeah, it's a request.
Even at a restaurant, I never go off menu.
You don't?
I never make substitutions. Never.
Really?
Never.
You never say go light on the sour cream?
Well, that's different. But I'll never be like, hey, can I have this instead of this? Or could you keep this off? Yeah. No, I don't do that.
You're worried
whatever
about
the chef
spitting on it, then. That's
whatever
right.
the chef or the guy, the line cook wants.
Short order cook.
Yeah, I'll eat it that way.
Listen, I go out with TLD quite often, and it is a When Harry Met Sally recreation, okay? It is definitely.
Yeah, I think it's more of a female thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just like, whatever.
Whatever.
No.
Give me whatever. And Matt, so you're like a substitute guy.
I'm not a substitute guy.
Okay.
I'm not. I just like if I'm really like if something really tastes better with X on it or X without on it, then I'll say it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it is a service industry, and
You're
I do
right.
tip
I
really
don't
well.
hate on people who do. I'm not that guy. I trust the way that they prepare it to be the best way.
So I had a friend of mine who lived in California, okay? And he didn't make that much money, but he always tipped really well. He was a notoriously large tipper.
I do think that.
So I learned from him.
Yeah. And so are you a good tipper?
I am a notoriously large tipper, yes.
Okay. I'm notoriously large as well, but I just, if you think about it, it all depends on the service. It really does.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go over the top.
It 100% does.
Yeah. It has everything to do with that. When you think about
He's so predictable. It's not
He
even
really
funny.
is.
God,
But I also
Whitey.
agree with him about the food point. Like the if we're actually talking about the service in the restaurant, which we weren't, I agree with that point.
Yeah.
That I'm a good tipper.
Yeah.
But if you are just like outstandingly terrible, not only am I not going to tip well, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I know.
I
agree.
have no qualms
I
with
agree.
letting a guy know when he's
I agree.
doing a terrible
Completely.
job.
And I also have no qualms like writing on the after I tip. Like you did a great job.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was fantastic.
Smiley
Great
face.
job. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Thank you for your help. Great job.
This is one that got me a little bit. Is when you have a larger party and they'll add in the tip.
Well, then that's what it is then.
And then they won't tell you.
Well, it's
Well, you always
usually
gotta
on there
look,
like
though.
the gratuity is like
Always gotta look.
18% for a big party. And if they ever do that, though,
Oh my
which they
gosh,
do, I'm just like, fine, that's your tip then.
Right, you're
If
out
gonna already
7% at that
because I
point.
was going to
You've
tip
screwed-
more.
Yeah, you
Right.
screwed up. So,
Right.
yeah, but
That's-
they have done that. There's no question about
And my
it.
buddy, who was a notoriously large tipper, by the way, once got arrested.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was in the back of the car with another guy that got arrested. And the cops that had
both
pulled
going-
them over, they were going to the cop station, and something happened, and they went to like another problem, another crime scene. They stopped, got out of the car, and my buddy got out.
He took off?
He got out.
Ran?
Ran.
Are you serious?
Cuffed and ran.
Is he cuffed?
Yes. And allegedly, he told me this. I didn't really see this. But apparently, like, there was like a breaking TV news that were saying, and they were calling him the notoriously large tipper.
Oh, my gosh. That's classic. Hey, that's a heck of a nickname.
It's
If it
really
sticks.
weird.
It-
That is a weird story.
Yeah. If it sticks, you got to go. All right. It's pouring down in San Marcos, says one of our texters. Look, I may have been a little over the top when I said the golf guys don't rain after 9 after 5 because Matt is one of those guys who will look at the radar and it will take over
It
his
doesn't
brain.
look good, bro.
And listen, who has not looked at radar and thought there's a hell of a storm
Right.
coming?
I understand it's Florida, it's summer. I get it, and it stops and it gets sunny. But this one doesn't look good.
But like to the Max, who just did the local sports update just a little while ago, he gave me an encouraging report.
Really?
And his was positive.
What'd he say?
He said he's pretty sure it's going to clear out here in the next hour or so.
He don't know what the hell he's talking about.
And then you come in with the exact opposite of that.
Right, but I'm actually showing you the radar.
Yeah.
Max just giving you his,
Well, he actually
Philadelphia
was looking,
thoughts.
He was looking at another weather report as well. Okay, I'm just trying to stay positive. I do not want to get rained out.
I know you don't.
Okay, I do not want to
feel
get
for
rained
you.
out. All right. Now let's not rain on our parade. Let's get back to a couple of other things that we were talking about just a little bit ago. Like when we were talking about where Josh Hines Allen and where Trayvon Walker can be and where some of these other guys are at. If you want to take this and kind of paint it as a positive, and let's just make this the 10-10 take, JJ, if you don't mind, because I'm just going to try and make it a positive thing.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue, they are always ready for you. Let's just say it is a bad weather day. You just want to go in there, you just want to slide in to a booth and eat you a good meal and take your time. Well, you can do it right now. Take advantage of it. They got the great deal on the pork big deal, the rib and pork combo, the all-you-can-eat ribs for less than $20. It's all happening at any one of your area Sonny's. Make sure you check them out. So the good news is if you're talking about the best odds for the top 18 pass rushers in America in the National Football League, you have 2 Jacksonville Jaguars among them. That is a positive. That is one way to look at this, because when we're looking at all these other guys that are spread out across the National Football League, you have the possibility that you could see 2 guys that could get back to double digits collectively, adding up to 20 or more like we did a couple of seasons ago. If Trayvon Walker is to keep this ascent going, which is what everyone is hoping for and expecting from him, and then a return to glory season in Josh Hines-Allen, you're looking at the opportunity that maybe this pass rush will get back to where it needs to be. That's the 10-10 take. But I'm looking, and I'm just looking for 2 teammates among the top 18. And those are 2 teammates that got pretty good odds.
So I'm going to kind of like fuse this into the young guns, okay? The young guns being the young guys running the franchise. Remember 2 years ago when Tony Baselli on this very station predicted that Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker would have 25 sacks, and we all laughed at him. Yeah. And they had 27.5. Yeah.
They eclipsed his number.
He's now one of those young guns who's helped running that joint over there.
Yeah.
So maybe, just maybe, what's going on over there?
It'd be great.
Might be like a new day.
It'd be great.
That's all I'm saying. Might be a new day.
The other team that has a couple of guys that are among the top dozen or so betting favorites are the Houston Texans. You got Will Anderson Jr. and you got Daniil.
Daniil, right.
Yeah. And so
where did Grenard go?
Grenard,
the Vikings, is that right?
He was a Viking. I think he still is. Viking or a Bengal, I'm just trying to remember right now. But
yeah, he's a Viking.
Yeah.
Viking, right.
Yeah. And so you only have a couple of others that are among these top selections that are on the same team. And we will see where it goes. But there's no question Will Anderson Jr. is on the rise. Daniil Hunter, both of those guys have 10-1 odds. But that's what you're hoping for, is that you have that combination from both left and right off the edge that can attack and exact their will on an opposing quarterback. And this team did not do that nearly enough last year. And let's at least segue into the next seg, because another negative about this defensive front is that interior line. And everyone right now looking at how all their teams size up, CBS Sports said, what's the one missing piece? Where do you think it is on Jacksonville? Well, we'll do that coming up on XL Primetime. Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday on XL Primetime.
Play-by-play sports just sounds better on radio. For high school, college, and pro sports play-by-play, turn on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. At South State, they believe strong relationships build strong businesses. That's why they take the time to understand your goals, challenges, and vision, so they can provide solutions tailored to your needs, like they've done for me for years. South State has always been there for our business and our charity. With a team you can trust and a commitment to personalized service, South State Bank is here to be more than your bank. They're your partner in business. Visit southstatebank.com. South State Bank, member FDIC.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Summer is here, and that means it's time to feast on delicious Bono's St. Louis ribs. The small and large rib platters are at a low price to beat the summer heat, and you get 2 southern sides and garlic toast with each platter. It's an unbelievable deal that won't last long, so head to Bono's today to get your St. Louis ribs platter. I'm hungry now just talking about it. Head to Bono's today, and remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 9th, 1986, Atlanta Braves' Dale Murphy doesn't play, ending his consecutive streak at 740.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy, why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water at my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This summer, you can beat the heat at Best Bet, your premier poker destination. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time card player, you'll find a cool retreat from the summer heat with thrilling games, big payouts, and refreshing drinks. Join us for an unforgettable experience. Cool off and cash in at Best Bet. The stakes are high, the cards are hot, and your chance for fun is guaranteed. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
Celebrate National Carpet Cleaning Month with Zero Res. Hicken here. Check this out. $45 per room of carpet clean. Take 20% off your air duct services. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of the savings.
Zero Res.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast, and if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians, ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, my takeaway is I'm hoping that this Vegas line for the most sacks in the NFL, where Josh Allen is, I believe, 20th, we decided, right? 20th or 21st in the league. At
no, he was like
40 to 1.
16th, something like that.
No, I think it's lower than that. He's 40 to 1. Whereas the number one guy is Aiden Hutchinson at 5 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping this is more motivation. Just more motivation for him. Just like the idea of he played too heavy last year. And he came out and said he played too heavy. So just more motivation. That's all. More motivation for another 14 to 17 sack season. Like what number will you be okay with for him? As far as sack, like if he gets X amount, what are you going to say? All right, he's earned his contract.
First is return to double digits, but I'd like to see a dozen or more. I think that's reasonable. He was around the quarterback a lot last year. He just didn't get him on the ground. And so it was like Tyson Campbell last year looked like he was blanketing receivers quite a bit. He just didn't knock the ball away or didn't
make plays.
Yeah. And so I do feel like Josh Hines-Allen was very close to the quarterback a lot. And it may have had something to do with the weight. Not sure. But he didn't get the numbers that Jaguar fans and basically anybody who's taking a look at, hey, he's one of the higher paid defensive ends in the National Football League. They expected more. So anyway, 12 or more. And you know what else? Bat a pass and get it picked off. Those types of things.
You're 6'5".
Yeah,
knock a pass down.
Those are great things too.
Yes.
And he's probably more like 6'3", but still, those
he's
are
taller than 6'3".
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I don't know. You just went with your.
I think he is
25th best odds. He's just throwing numbers around.
I think he's taller than 6'3", bro.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna find out.
Anyway, I felt like
my point is
he's
like,
probably taller.
What number?
Unique was 6'3", so he's probably taller.
Right. What number is going to be good enough where you say, okay, he's earned that contract?
I'm saying north of a dozen.
Big contract, man.
North of a dozen.
Yeah, but give me like a specific number. Where does it hit for you?
I'd be very pleased with 14 sacks. Okay, that's where I'd be.
Yeah, I think it's got to be 14, 15. He's 6'5", bro. 6'5", 255.
Okay, that's fine.
I think it's got to be 14. Now, here's the thing. I think it has to be 14 or 15, but I also think he put the target on himself already now.
Mm-hmm.
By saying I play too heavy, he put the target. He's basically saying I play too heavy. That's why I had 8 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I went from 17.5 to 8.
Yeah.
So now the target's on himself.
Well, yeah.
So now let's now there's this. Now there's you're 20th among edge guys in the league as far as sacks, even behind it one interior guy.
Right. But the one interior guy is a special guy.
He's very good.
I would never bet on Chris Jones to lead the league in sacks. That's for sure.
I wouldn't bet against it. I can tell you that.
But I would never ever bet on that. But that's just one of those sexy bets that you feel like, oh, he's a dominant player, and they're just taking people's money out the window with that.
And he's a name.
Yeah, that's
average Joe bet it.
Yeah, that's it.
Like we were talking about, if you're a Cowboy, in this case, if you're
Chiefs
a bigger
Kingdom,
name and
yeah.
a Chiefs player.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, I'm a bet on. And no, he's not going to get anywhere near leading the league in sacks. But these other guys certainly have the potential, and you can return a pretty good number. But he has to know that everyone is second guessing him right now. And look, I like the player. I think he's close to being getting back to where he would like to be and being what all of Duval is expecting him to be. But it all has to happen. Trayvon and Josh Hines-Allen, and we just mentioned, CBS Sports said, what's the one missing piece for every NFL team heading into training camp? Their opinion, whether they're right or wrong, is interior defensive line. And it's one that I've been harping about forever.
I don't see how it's not.
If Eric Armstead has a season that he thinks he can have, and this team hopes he has, then you're talking about turning things around along that defensive front. They wrote, there's a lot of wish casting. That's a new phrase. There's a lot of wish casting in regards to Jacksonville's defensive interior, hoping that Devon Hamilton and Eric Armstead return to form and that second-year defensive tackle Mason Smith builds upon last campaign. And I'm with them 100%. They need to prove that they can get it done. And it's an area that has been of grave concern as far as I'm concerned, because they haven't collapsed a pocket in a long time. And they need to do that for anybody to make a living off the edge, and for cornerbacks like Tyson Campbell to start to feast on receiver plays that they can pick off a football, because the quarterback has been rushed into a throw. How many times has a quarterback been rushed into a throw against that defense the last couple of seasons? They haven't.
Rare.
Not enough. Yeah.
Rare.
Not
but
enough.
That's another thing, too, is it's sacks are important. And Saban used to say this all the time, sacks are overrated. People say, what do you mean they're overrated? His point was not only deflections at the line of scrimmage, but having your arm up to where you're limiting view. You're limiting the actual window of opportunity to throw the ball.
You change an arm angle. You influence accuracy.
Yes, you're influencing all different angles of the pass game.
And the other thing
is with the rush and with your arms. And that is what I think there needs to be more of. If you've got a guy like Armstead who's 6'6", correct?
Yeah, he's a big cat too.
He's got to be inside with that arm up, man.
Yeah.
That thing's got to be up.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see balls batted down the line of scrimmage 100%. And then I'd like to see the knockdowns and the hurries add up as well. The Trayvon Walker stat that a lot of people pointed to was that maybe even both, he and Hines Allen, both were up in terms of pressures. They added up to a really nice number of quarterback pressures, but it still was not getting the quarterback on the ground. And if they can do that, then obviously there's going to be an uptick in their sack numbers, what they do to get the other team off the field, and how they help their secondary, how they're going to help a Tyson Campbell and maybe a Travis Hunter or a Jarian Jones or any of these other guys. And so that part would be a nice extra bonus if that can happen. I wondered about him when I didn't hear from him, but he has spoken. High Tide on the South Side has chimed in. Okay?
Here we go.
I wondered
Here we go.
if he might have rolled such a big one.
Right. First off, let's stop real quick. That's going to influence his decision. You know that, right?
Well, of course it is.
Right.
It's his lifestyle.
Right.
Okay.
So clearly he's going to be leaning towards
He's got a health issue.
Okay,
It's
wait a minute.
important. He's
Why
got
would
cataracts.
why would you even assume he's going one way based on his consumables?
Because I think
No, I think you brought it up, so we're assuming that he's going to go.
No, I also think it's also the consumables because, like, when you're in that point, you're like, it's just numb.
Not true.
That's
not true.
Yeah, and we have some experience in the building.
Yeah,
We have some
I'm a
inexperience.
foodie too, bro.
We have some experience.
I'm a pretentious
you're
eater.
Different. You're different. You're like a different animal.
Hey,
Okay?
listen,
you're not High Tide. You haven't seen High Tide. He's come
I've never
to
met him
remotes,
before,
right?
no.
Yeah,
You're
the
not him,
Leon.
believe me.
You're the Leon of smokers. You're built different. Okay, but this.
No offense to High Tide. We love him. He's just,
I love High Tide.
Right.
But listen, I'm not even going with your argument. Your argument has nothing for me right now. But because I see JJ and High Tide in the exact same. Okay.
So he's a hard shell guy.
Yeah, and he goes, bruh, crunchy taco all day, every day.
Come on.
Okay.
Man.
And look, when he reaches for something, he wants it to be a hard taco. And it doesn't mean that you can't have a good burrito, fajita, soft taco. I like the flight of soft tacos. I love them. Love them. But I just like the fact that there's some hard shell guys that are speaking up. They're coming out of the woodwork. They're like,
you got your own little cult.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And you guys can start your own restaurant.
Right.
See how good it does.
You guys go have fun and talk about
Hard
it. Okay?
shells only. See how good that does.
Oh, listen, I know we're becoming
My
more,
point was now you know
more
why
of a
he's-
dinosaur.
Now you know why, I'm saying he's affected by his lifestyle, shall we say?
Are you saying munchies mean crunchies? Is that
I'm
what you're
saying I'm saying when certain things happen, he's headed to Taco Bell.
Okay, no, that's
Okay,
not
that's
it.
what I'm
That's not
saying.
it. By the way, he probably doesn't get behind the wheel at that point.
He's going.
But let me just say something.
Or someone within his sphere is headed to Taco Bell.
I just
or he's
feel-
calling Uber Eats and
that-
he's getting it delivered to him.
I think that actually could have been where it started. Okay, but I'm just going to tell you, munchies mean crunchies. Okay, and
Right, yes.
But don't think for a moment you can't throw a big burrito in the microwave, one that you've had frozen after that night, after a big like Badger type of gas mask night.
Yeah.
And don't think you can't get a frozen burrito and throw it in the microwave.
It's true.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
And if you're not careful, it'll explode.
One of
But-
those gas station burritos.
Oh my gosh, yes. And so
I don't know about gas station.
those are
That's like
hugely
gas station
popular,
sushi.
Okay, they're hugely popular.
Now we are in the era of gas station. We're in the peak of gas station food right now.
But Wawa's not really gas station, though.
Yes, it is. So
I
is.
mean,
What are you saying? It's not?
It is a gas station, clearly.
So is Buc-ee's. So is
Buc-ee's, yeah.
Dailies. Like, they all have great food now. It's like gas station food is no longer what I grew up with, which was trash. Like, you'd have like a churro or a hot dog that's been on the roller for like 12 straight hours, or a pizza that you're like, who the hell is eating this? Now,
even
the food at gas stations is phenomenal, and you can get any type of food on.
Bro, I was at Gate the other day. They have a Four Rivers barbecue sandwich at Gate.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Well, the roller racks have also stepped up their game. But
as we've literally given out free advertising for the last 3 years now.
I'm trying to zero in on the ones that I love, okay? But Michael in the middle, he'll zero in on when they have those sub specials, whatever. They love them.
You know what's really good? It's like, have you ever been like to Virginia, and it's kind of like North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Sheets.
Yeah, it's like a Wawa.
It's like a Wawa.
I have not been, but I've heard.
They're really good.
An NBA team has it like as their or a baseball team has. I think it's the Pirates. The Pirates have Sheets as one of their sponsors on their uniform.
Yeah, they're as good as Wawa.
Yeah, the very first one we saw was up in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. And,
Nothing's Buc-ee's.
Yeah,
so.
they were legendary.
Or as they say now on IG, Boosie's. Y'all been to Boosie's? Y'all been to Boosie?
That's a souped up fancy one, isn't it? Listen, there's only so many places.
Y'all been to Boosie?
There's only so many places that you can get good brisket and shop for a onesie at the same time. As a matter of fact, I've seen this guy in a onesie before.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
That's my man, the embedded and shredded. Only so many people can pull off onesies, and Hayes Carline can.
I love it. I also love my overalls.
Yeah.
I love a day just wearing my overalls.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself calling them coveralls?
No.
No, not coveralls.
I like that, though.
Because you do need to, if you have a overall, you need to make sure it covers.
Are they like the Indiana overalls, like the crimson and white striped?
No, like just dungarees kind of overalls. Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing under it.
Yeah.
No shirt on or anything underneath?
No, I make moonshine.
Like no drawers either, like you're commando.
I'm in overalls.
Wow.
It covers everything.
Wow.
I've never seen more.
Yeah, I watch old episodes of Hee Haw.
NASCAR.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
The great Roy Clark.
That's right.
I've never
Hugh
seen
Hefner in a cornfield.
Yeah, more red and orange mixed together in coveralls than the Gator Bowl when Indiana and Tennessee.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They were all wearing them, man.
It was unreal.
Yeah.
It was Midwest meet the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was
school spirit.
Oh, yeah.
The women in Hee Haw were beautiful.
Oh yeah. Barbie Benton.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. I forgot what we were
In fact, like I'm not sure a better show actually. Could there have been a better show?
Price is Right.
Maybe.
In terms of the
Benny Hill.
The girls.
Benny Hill.
Benny
yeah,
Hill.
well, Benny Hill, of course.
And
they allowed like nudity.
I mean, I'm
over
not
there.
counting
And
like
the Man Show.
Melrose Place where they, like
They're
you
models.
you can have like an
Or
ensemble.
90210.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could, but I'm thinking more like
Man
variety show, game show. Yeah, man show.
Man Show was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never forget. Corolla goes, you know what the problem is in this world? There's not enough gravy. They went to the mall and just started serving gravy over everything.
They would literally have women bouncing on trampolines to end the show.
Yeah.
What a time
what
to be
happened
alive.
to him, by the way? What happened to him? He's completely on the other.
Which one?
Well, not Adam.
Kimmel.
Yeah, Kimmel.
He made a lot of cash.
Yeah, he did. He did. What's coming up?
We've got a fun Frangie show coming up. Brett Hastings is going to join us in Sports and Courts. We're going to talk about gambling, like what's legal and what's not legal, just as sort of a refresher. So we'll have a fun Sports and Courts segment with Brett Hastings. Always appreciate his expertise, and we'll get to all sorts of Jaguars, Gators, Knowles. We're getting close. So, and a big honor for a Florida Gator today. So, all that coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, my brother. Thank you
guys.
Hayes Carline, Frank Frangie, JJ. They will have it all coming up just in a few minutes. We had a good time. Thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. I heard great things from the 210 Painter and a handful of other ones. Things are looking good off of CR 210. So come on out, 9 after 5. Fajitas tonight, people. Little 9
Hard shell.
Soft shell.
Soft shell. It's fajitas. Okay. All right. So we are ready to go. Call 287-PLAY and enjoy it. I love this 891. You're not going to get away with that, pal. Not on XL Prime Time. We are done. Joe C., Matty Hayes, and JJ. You got the Frangie Show coming up next.
I
I want rustlers, cutthroats, bounty hunters, desperados, nitwits, halfwits, dimwits, bushwhackers,